Hello and welcome to the latest instalment of the Katie Brindle YouTube. Now today I'm going to be talking to you about a number of different questions that I get asked all the time. So I've collated them into this little list here and I'm going to answer them one by one in turn because they're really common questions and they're questions that are common for a good reason. They are good questions and they're ones that we need to know the answers to. So question number one is all about what is tapping. Now, tapping, for those of you that don't know, is performed with this amazing product, which you can buy over on the Hayo'u method, the brand that I set up, all about 1 minute to self-care. Now, this is what's called the bamboo tapper, and tapping has shot to fame in the last year, and certainly in the last 2 years since that we launched this product. When we launched it, no one knew what I was talking about, and now people are starting to cotton on. So what is it all about? Well, the idea is that you use this very lightweight, non-charged, non-batteried, sustainable, biodegradable product, basically for one key thing, which is to tap the body all over like this. And this indeed is based on a Chinese technique called Pai Sha, which is very similar to Gua Sha, but Gua Sha means Gua, press stroke, Sha, flush, and Pai Sha is Pai, strike or percuss, flush. Because the idea is that this is going to do for the whole of your body what the Gua Sha will do just for the areas of the body that you're addressing. So it's a very, very quick, time economical piece of kit, because all you do is strike all over your body, which only needs to take about a minute. And you have immediately invigorated all of the circulation of the body, allowing the body's lymphatics to carry away anything which is no longer required, to strengthen up the 5 key organs and to ensure that that all-important circulatory system is moving freely around your body. Now, this is vitally important to do. This is the equivalent of brushing your teeth on a daily basis, because modern living means that circulation does not move freely. We're over sedentary, we're overstressed, we are working extremely long hours and we're not moving around hour by hour, minute by minute. We tend to be sat at our desks or sat down for long periods of time and not moving the circulation and not pumping the lymphatics by muscle movement. So this has a very good job of offsetting most of those things. I recommend to use the tapper first thing in the morning after your morning shower on dry skin. That will get the circulation going in the beginning of the day, to then tap slowly before you go to bed at night to just allow the body to detoxify itself, and to have it at your desk during the course of the day. And I recommend to use the tapper every time you go to the loo. So when you've done your business and you've come back to your desk, give yourself that 1 minute to get your circulation moving back around the body, and you will feel energized. You really will. This is like an energy stick. It literally energizes the blood flow and makes a massive difference to how you feel. So that's tapping. Now, next question. What's Qigong? Well, Qigong is really an extension of tapping, because what Qigong is it means life force practice. Life force is the very energy or chi or prana that's inside every single cell of your body, keeping you alive. Now, that life force tends to deplete as we use it up, as we get older, as we're overstressed, as we burn the candle at both ends. Have you ever wondered where you get energy from, even if you haven't eaten that day? It's coming from your life force. And your life force is a bit like a bank account. So eventually, if you're not adding money back into that bank account and yet you're spending, eventually it's going to run out. That's precisely what happens with the body. Now, Qigong means life force practice, or refinement, or cultivation. Those are 3 translations for the word gong. And what we do in Qigong is that we combine 3 crucial things. 1, the breath. 2, the third eye focus, and 3, the stretching of the limbs by using the poses that we practice in Qigong, which allow that all-important life force that comes in through the breath into every single cell of the body. And this is what we practice over on Hayo'u Fit, which is a brand I created halfway through the second lockdown that we're in, off the back of the fact in the very first lockdown, I started to broadcast my Qigong moves to anyone that cared to join me on Instagram, and the results were phenomenal. So many thousands of people receiving so much benefit from doing these brilliant techniques and these brilliant movements that it made a massive difference, not only to how we look, but also to how we feel. And by combining these three key factors, what you will find with Qigong is that it addresses a myriad of issues because it's working from the cells on the inside out, rather than most conventional exercise, which tends to be working from the outside in. So Qigong is the most fantastic form of exercise. It has been scientifically proven to strengthen the immune system, to lower inflammatory markers, to strengthen bone health, to improve mood, to improve blood pressure, to reduce body fat, to increase mobility. I mean, there are so many benefits of Qigong. There are actually too many to go into here. All I can say is come over to Hayo'u Fit and try the 7-day trial, which is completely free. There is no commitment on your part, and you too will see the benefits after literally one class. So that is a little bit of an intro into Qigong. The next question was, can Gua Sha cause wrinkles? Now, the answer is, if you don't practice Gua Sha correctly, then yes, it can. Because let me just grab a crystal. Here's the clear quartz. Now what happens is if you just apply Gua Sha to dry skin and start press stroking along skin without any kind of slip, whether that's from water or oil, you will be dragging the skin and then you will be making the matters worse. But when you apply Gua Sha correctly, which is by applying the multiple award-winning beauty oil that we have here, or indeed at the very least water from the shower whilst you're standing in the shower in the morning. And for extra measure, you can always hold one area of the skin like this whilst you apply the crystal to the other, so that you're not dragging the skin. If you drag the skin, there is a chance that you can cause wrinkles. But as long as you're gua shaing the body or the face correctly, then all it is going to be doing is enhancing your beauty in an unparalleled way, which is why Gua Sha has become such a massive trend since it launched here with us a few years ago. So that is a little intro into face Gua Sha. And what is the best Gua Sha tool for beginners? Well, the best Gua Sha that I recommend for beginners is the jade, which I'm just going to grab here. So this is the jade Gua Sha. Now this was the first Gua Sha tool that I launched when I launched the brand a few years ago, because jade is considered to be Earth's gift to mankind. And the idea is that jade has got so many healing properties as a crystal, which you can either hold against your skin or simply move and articulate the crystal so that you can start to press stroke over the contours of your skin. It is absolutely fantastic if you're dealing with, say, dark circles under your eyes, or tired or puffy eyes, or allergic eyes, or screen eyes, or if you've got headaches. You can take the crystal and you can place it over this area here if it's at the front of the head, or on the side on the temples here if it's at the side of your head. It's brilliant for flushing skin if you're finding that you've got irritated or sensitive skin on this area here, or even if you've got spider veins and you can't gua sha, you can just hold the crystal here. Jade is the most wonderful crystal. You can use it at any time of day or night, any season of the year. You're going to get this wonderful continuum of benefits from it. So this is always the crystal that I urge you to start with, and then you layer the other crystals in. I would recommend that you layer rose quartz in the morning and clear quartz at night. But personally, I always start with the jade. The final question is, why am I always so tired? Now, fatigue is a really interesting one, because it's something that when I'm doing my clinic in the questionnaire, I always ask people if they get any kind of fatigue in the day and do they wake up feeling refreshed in the morning. And I can honestly say that without any exception whatsoever, everybody feels that they're dipping their energies in the middle of the afternoon, and that they are often feeling exhausted when they wake up in the morning and just want to stay in bed. Now, the reasons for this is there's something in Chinese medicine called the Zi-Wu clock. Now, the Zi-Wu clock is a 24-hour clock whereby each organ, of which there are 12 in the body, has a 2-hour window in the 24-hour cycle where the energy goes into that organ, and that organ is kind of doing its absolute kind of like full throttle sort of purposes of what it has to do each day. And what you will find is that if there are certain times of day when you're feeling particularly tired, that it means that that organ is specifically not performing to its best abilities. And the reason you're feeling tired is because what it's asking for is rest, so that it can actually do its job without you driving it to actually have to do other things at the same time. So it's a bit of fatigue, is a bit like the body asking for food. When you're fatigued, the body is asking for rest, because it doesn't actually have enough energy or life force inside the organ and the channel attached to that organ to do its job properly. So it's asking you to relax. Now, two of the biggest telltale signs of this are middle of the afternoon, which is when the energy is moving into the water meridian and in particular into the kidneys, or first thing in the morning when the energy is in the digestive system and it's ready for food. Now, often if you find yourself tired at those times of day, it's because there is a direct relationship between those organs and that time of day. Now, the other thing that you can often find, just to make it more confusing, is that it can sometimes be the opposite time of the day where there's an imbalance. So sometimes you could find yourself feeling really tired at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but actually what that is more of a relationship to what's going on in the middle of the night. So you find people who are exhausted at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but wide awake at 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, when the energy of the body has been so disrupted to that extent, it normally means that all of the organs of the body are now getting exhausted and that there's a whole overhaul needs to take place. So there's a little bit we can do to strengthen that up. And the best possible way of all is to meditate. Now, most people, when I suggest meditation, just kind of roll their eyes and think, oh, I can't do it. But this is one of the key things that we offer over on Hayo'u Fit. It is a class that I myself lead on a Friday evening at 5 p.m. that you can then download at any time of day or night to follow for yourself. And I take you into the bliss of meditation because it is the most exquisite thing when you understand how to do it properly and will make a massive difference to the energy of the body. So if you don't fancy the full-blown meditation on Hayo'u Fit, the cheat's way to getting to the same benefit is to do the rescue breath that I talk about a lot, which is simply breathe slowly in and smile down in your lower belly as you breathe slowly out. Now that is something that you can do all the time. If you're not talking, you can do that rescue breath. And by deeply breathing, you will restore the body back with its energy because you're bringing that all-important life force in by the deep breaths that you're practicing when you're not in motion. This can be done on public transport, when you're driving, when you're in a meeting, when you're on a phone call, basically when you're doing anything that doesn't involve you talking. And then once you practice that rescue breath regularly, then I urge you to pick the tapper up, which is where we started, and tap that breath and the benefits of it all over the body, and that you will find yourself feeling much, much more energized and much stronger and generally better. So those are a few of the most common questions that I get asked in clinic. Do share this with anybody that you think would benefit from this, and do follow me underneath because I'd love you to know more about these techniques that I'm bringing you on YouTube. And I will be back very soon with more of the same. Thank you for watching.